This is a podcast about both having autism and living with someone who has autism. My mom is Sonya, and I'm Josh, and this is Josh Has Autism.
Hey everybody, welcome to Josh Has Autism.
Hello.
So Josh, let's start off with this. Last week, we did a podcast on you wanting to be a library technician.
Yes.
And then you got an email from somebody that's doing just that.
Yes. And it is so cool.
Right.
She was diagnosed with autism at the age of 28. She's 30 now, and or at least I believe that's what she said. And she now has an associate's degree for being a library technician.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and she said it was her dream job.
Just like you.
Yeah. So that was just wow.
Yeah. Yes.
So thank you so much for your email. It was amazing to be able to read that I'm not the only one. And
right.
It was very encouraging to be able to hear that about it. So thank you.
Yes, I second that. Thank you so much for that email. It was the perfect email from the perfect person at the perfect time.
Yes.
So we really appreciate you taking the time to do that and to send that email. It meant a great deal.
Yeah.
So thank you. So today, what I want to talk to you about is that you know this. We've been talking about it. You've heard the rumblings about it. Mm-hmm. The dad has been offered a job in Newport News, Virginia.
Yep.
Yep. And you're shaking your head because you know about this. I'm not springing it on you.
Right.
You know about it. But there's a lot to think about and to process through that. So I think anybody that's listened to this podcast knows that we live in Pensacola, Florida.
Yes.
And
if not, they do now.
If not, they do now. And Dad works in procurement and had a hard time finding a job in that field here. He did have a contract, and the contract expired. And so he said, where do you want to go? And this is a permanent position, so it's not one that 5 years down the road we would, it's not the contract, it's a permanent position.
Yeah.
And so it was, and he took the position. And anytime when it comes to moving, we've been very fortunate in that we stayed in the same place. This will be when I go way back, probably to you remember.
This would be the 8th location that I'd lived.
1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th.
5th?
Yep.
San Diego.
In San Diego. Well, yes, counting when you were a baby. Yeah. You're adding those. I mean, as you were the things that you could remember. Oh. I don't think you remember leaving San Diego right after you were born.
No, but I remember Florida.
So. Your dad was in the military and stationed in Marianna, Florida.
Yeah.
As a recruiter for a few years.
Yeah.
And you remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah. And you were just a little guy when he got transferred up to Virginia Beach. Was stationed there. Was stationed there for 5 years, and then retired.
Yeah.
So after that, you stayed in the same area for a long time. It's about 18 years.
Yeah.
So then we moved down here and lived here for 5 years.
Almost 5 years
Almost
now.
5 years in August.
Yeah.
But he got this position. And if you hear that, that's Oliver complaining because Josh's arms are not long enough to scratch him from where he is. So I know that you've been here long enough to build relationships.
Yeah.
You have friends, and You work with Dr. Ogilvy.
Yeah.
And sorry for all this squeaking and the dogs whining. If you can hear that, Oliver is demanding attention. Josh is doing what he can. But there's a lot of things to consider, and you're at the top of that list when Dad and I consider what we're doing and where we're living and all that. And so we want for you to be able to be as comfortable through this move as you can be.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know what you think about it and what's been coming up for you in that, and knowing that we'll be moving soon.
Well, ask me how I feel about the whole thing is a little bit broad, so if you could narrow it down a little bit.
Okay. In the feelings that you have, can you name different feelings that you are experiencing? Are you sad?
A bit. Because, I mean, I have a lot of friends down here.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it's... You know what? Let me try and explain it this way. I have a lot of friends and a lot of things I do with those friends down here. But I'm not necessarily moving my life forward, per se.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So you're enjoying your life. You have friends and you feel connected in that way, but you don't feel like you're doing anything for yourself that moves you forward.
Yeah.
In a way. You have a job.
Yes.
And that job is a good job.
It is.
Excellent employers.
Yeah.
And they really get who you are and what you're about.
Yeah.
We have told them about the move and asked them if they ever thought of expanding. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there. But you're saying that you just feel like you're just not really doing things that you feel like get you to where you want to be.
Correct.
Okay. And I know that when we started with this podcast, what was that email?
Yeah.
About being a library tech.
Yeah.
Have you looked into that up there?
I have.
What'd you find?
I found that there's actually quite a number of positions for that
available
up there.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you have to have an education? Do you have to go to college for that first?
To be honest, I don't remember. I think it would be better if I did. Mm-hmm. But I honestly don't remember their requirements at a lot of the places.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well. Yeah. Sorry.
I just remember there being a lot of positions open for it.
That's really cool. For library technician.
Yes.
Awesome.
Among other library positions, but yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had talked before about you going to college.
Yeah.
And you thought that wasn't really something you wanted to do. But then, as we've been talking about you working at the library, well, with this job that you have now, mm-hmm. what kind of field of study would help you with this job? Or what kind of studies would you have to take for library technician? We've talked about both of those things.
Yes.
And the fact that, well, what happens is you go through voc rehab and they help you to go through college. When there's nothing at the end of that tells you, when there's nothing at the end of that tells you that you're going to be able to get a job in that field, they typically don't pay for you to go to school.
Correct.
Because they say that, I mean, it's true, they want to get you to work. They're not in the business of educating as much as it is getting somebody to work.
Correct.
Well, since there's no opportunities here to be a library tech, they won't send you to school.
Right.
But you're saying that if there's a lot of jobs up there, that could be a potential.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's really cool. Is that exciting to you?
Yeah, it is. It's really exciting. I mean, in high school, that's what I did. Mm-hmm. And I had so much fun doing it. Mm-hmm. It was relaxing. It was fun. It was what I want to do.
So, and that's what you're talking about moving forward.
Yeah.
Right. I hear what you're saying. What about on the other side of it? What about D&D? I mean, is that everywhere?
That's everywhere, yes.
Okay.
It's honestly more about finding out where some groups meet, because while it's all around the world, actually, it's very diverse into where it's located. So sometimes it could be at a video game store or a tabletop store or even a hobby store. And then from those, you also get the ones that are played at home, played at homes. And honestly, the ones that are played at homes are usually a lot more open to different ideas, as opposed to the rule sets that are strictly adhered to at different game stores. So,
well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's probably smaller groups too.
Not really.
Huh?
Yeah, not really.
I'm surprised, because I remember you. I remember you saying that when you were at the what was that place? That comic book place.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then when you went to the home, there was like sometimes 4 people, 6 people, something like that. So I thought it was. I don't know. You didn't say that it was like that, but I just.
Right.
You know, I kind of deducted that from what you had said.
Let me clarify that then.
Okay.
At the comic book store, mm-hmm. There's about 16 people on average, but we split them up into different groups because you can only have at most 8 people at a table.
Okay.
That's the rule set.
Okay.
Saying that's the maximum, mm-hmm. including the GM.
Okay.
So whenever it's at somebody's home, usually it's not even 8 people.
How did you find the groups here?
Oh my gosh. That's Oliver in the background again. I found them in different ways, actually. One of them was just looking online, seeing where the quote unquote official groups are. Mm-hmm. And then some of them were just meeting people and having fun with them. And then it's like, hey, we want to do D&D. I was like, yay. So it really varies as to how you can find people to play D&D.
Right. So you're not concerned about that ending. Moving up there, that's something that you'll find a group and...
Yeah.
Okay. I know down here, at one point, there was not something, and you said, well, I'll just start one.
Yeah.
And then you didn't have to, because you...
Yeah, because apparently they already had a group there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that can continue. I know that it's difficult at times to leave your friends.
Yeah.
You know, that you play with a particular group of people. Mm-hmm. You like them, they like you.
Yeah.
You have built up a friendship.
Yeah.
And I do know that that's difficult to leave.
Yeah.
But you seem to be really good at meeting people. which is funny because I was always told you'd never do that. Mm-hmm. And here you are. It's one of the things that you're great at.
Yeah.
Yep. What about the potential for mentoring young people on the spectrum? I know that you do that with Dr. Ogilvy now.
Right.
And that's something that you really enjoy.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm being told that you really make a difference in their lives. And the kids really respond well to you.
Yeah. They really do.
Mm-hmm. And are you going to seek out something like that up there?
I would like to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can ask Dr. Ogilvy if she knows of any connections up there that you can make.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I know that that's one of the things that you've said that is hard for you to leave.
Yes.
Because that means a lot to you.
Yeah. And I know that it means a lot to everyone else, too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I would really want to continue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. I know that CARD is just in Florida.
Yeah.
But maybe there's other organizations that have mentoring as part of what they do. If not, you can bring that up to them.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Because I know CARD specifically is, the full title of it is CARD at FSU.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Center for Autism and Related Disabilities at Florida State University.
Correct.
So...
Right. And yes. So, yes, it makes sense that they're just in Florida.
Yes.
It does. Well, you've had enough time now, so we've been kind of talking about this, that this was this a possibility? Wasn't it a possibility? We've talked to you about, Pensacola and the surrounding areas. It's a difficult place for jobs.
Yeah.
And that Dad went outside of Pensacola based on had.
Yeah.
And so you've known that this was happening. You knew when he, had the interview.
Yeah.
You knew when he, got the job.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, are you excited about it? I mean, I know you're happy for your dad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, am I happy for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he totally deserves this.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And are you happy about anything that it would represent for you?
I mean, it's a new opportunity. Like we were saying earlier, it's leaving all my friends.
Right.
And that's probably going to be the most difficult part.
Mm-hmm. Right, I agree.
And that's definitely the most hardest, oh my gosh. That's definitely the hardest part to do with this. Mm-hmm. Is that I don't want to leave my friends, but if I want to keep moving forward for my future, I'm gonna have to.
Mm-hmm. Seems like it. We're giving Dad a bit of time to ensure that it's the right fit for him.
Yeah.
So we're not just up and moving.
Right.
We're giving it a bit of time in order to make sure that it's the right thing.
Yeah.
And will you want to go up there and visit before we go?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. We'll make that happen.
Okay.
And just like with this house, your opinion is important as to what house we buy, where we live. We all need to be comfortable where we're going.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to live under the same roof as you. I love you, but
well, I mean, that was a question that we talked about in this. We, didn't know how it would work.
Right.
But there are. We checked in to see, would you be okay here? And you just said you didn't want to when we move, you want to go.
Yeah.
That you don't want to stay.
Yeah.
Even though, that's something that we talked about.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, because, we built you that mother-in-law suite here.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I don't live in it.
You don't live in it. We built that for you so that you could be here with us and safe, but living on your own.
Yeah.
And you didn't like that. You wanted to move back into the house. So are you just saying that things have changed now that you think you're ready to live in your own space?
Yeah.
Okay. So...
Just...
close by?
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's...
Even if it's like a room above the garage or something like that.
Okay. Right.
I just don't want to live in the same house.
Okay.
Per se.
Give me 5. I agree with that. I think it would be good for all of us.
Yeah.
Yes. So, if you did that, and we moved and you had your own space, would you be able to, and you're going to have your own kitchen, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be able to, do you think at this point in your life, be able to clean up the things that need to be cleaned up and taken care of?
Yeah.
Okay. Laundry?
Yeah.
You do that? No comment.
No, I understand now that I have to do laundry.
Okay.
And it's just remembering that I put it in there in the first place that I'm having difficulty with.
Right. And timers are not working?
Timers do help.
Mm-hmm.
It's just remembering to make sure those timers are set.
Okay. So we don't know where we're gonna move.
Right.
So there's I don't know if you remember, there's Newport News, which is where Dad got the job.
Yeah.
Around Newport News, there's Hampton.
Yeah. Hampton Roads, right?
Well, the whole Hampton Roads, I believe, encompasses Newport News, Hampton, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, and Suffolk.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Norfolk and Suffolk, that's interesting.
Well, I learned how to say it without sounding vulgar. When we first moved there, when Dad was still in, I was like, how do you say this? Because I would hear people say it. I'm like, what are you saying? Because it sounded like they were swearing at me. And
who knows? They probably were.
Well, they might have been. Yeah, they might have been. Who knows? So, but yes, it's all of those places are included in Hampton Roads.
Okay.
But for example, where Dad works, we're not going to move down to Virginia Beach because traffic is too bad for him to be able to get over to the... When you go down that one bridge, 64,
oh geez,
on Tunnel,
I
should say Tunnel, it's horrible. Traffic is awful.
Yeah. So
there are some places that we don't want to go, but still they're not too far to get to.
Right.
So even living in, Chesapeake, you're probably going to be at the beach in 25 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
I think.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, that's almost the same here. We're a little bit closer, but it's...
We're a little bit closer. We're 7 miles from the bay here.
Yeah.
And then we have to go, we have to go over the bridge.
To get to the Gulf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, it's about 20 minutes.
Okay.
I think, to get to the beach now.
Cool. I like compared to the 18 years that we lived in that one location in Pennsylvania, it is so much easier with everything close by as it is here.
Well, we lived in a little bitty town.
Less than 250 people.
Yes. With one stop sign.
Mm-hmm. For one direction.
What, right. Unless you're turning right.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to stop. Where everybody knew everybody, and it was a really great place to grow up.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite times there was Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Because it always reminded me of that movie Hocus Pocus. How there's so many kids out, and that feel to it. It was really cool. And every time we went out, our dog Dusty, who was our very first Bichon, he would get dressed up
as a devil dog
and would go out with us, and everybody had treats for him.
Yeah.
So he went out trick-or-treating every year.
Yeah.
Also, so it was just a really, and I understand what you're saying though, is because it was a little town, and
it took us half an hour to get anywhere.
I don't know. We
like it would take us, I guess, 25 minutes to get to the next big town.
Probably, like to the mall or something. Yeah,
to the mall,
something
I think
like
took
that.
30 minutes. Yeah,
something like that. Well, we had about, I don't know, I guess it's 20 minutes up the road. We had a grocery store.
Yeah,
and so we could get to something. But to keep it, to give you an idea, we lived so far in the middle of nowhere that no place would deliver.
Yeah.
Like you order pizza, nope. It wasn't going to happen. And so, what's funny here is, we were getting some pizza. We were going to pick it up, and somebody said, "Are you going to have it delivered?" And I was like, "Oh." I totally forgot. We're back in civilization. We can do that. Yes. Yeah. And I think that that's something that we've really, I really like.
Yeah.
I really like being so close to everything here.
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful to be separated like we were.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful with nature everywhere.
Yeah.
This particular idea of living where we're close to everything is really nice. It is really nice.
It is, and it's so easy to just get something done. So, for example, we go to Home Depot a lot because this house, essentially, where we live now, is a new house.
Yeah.
We took this house and everything is new.
Yeah, it's like we flipped it.
Well, well, we did, but not for that reason. Not like regular flippers. We just
wanted to make
renovated
it nice for
the
us.
entire home. Yes. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, that we can get to Home Depot in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas it used to take about a half hour.
Yeah.
To get there.
Yeah. So, one of the... Oh, geez. What were we talking about? The whole move, I guess. The whole idea about moving is we don't... I lost my train of thought.
We're talking about moving. We're talking about your dad got a job.
Yeah.
And we're moving to Virginia.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I was saying is that the small town we went to, then we came here, and this one is bigger. So we went from 200 people to 100,000?
Yeah, something like that.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And then now I think it's 1 million. So it's...
In Virginia Beach?
Yeah, well...
Or Virginia
Hampton
area?
Roads. I think Hampton Roads.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a big difference.
Yeah.
It really is. And I know you're going to want to drive.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that anyway here. And, because since you had the accident, you've not driven, and you're ready to now.
Yeah.
And so it's, a lot more people on the roads there.
Yeah.
You used to, you drove in Pennsylvania. You did really well.
Yeah. I drove a lot in Pennsylvania.
You did. Well, just leaving the house, anywhere you went, you had to drive a lot.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Those country rolling hills.
Yeah. Especially in winter.
Yes.
With the snow everywhere and the ice on the trees. Oh my gosh, gorgeous.
It was beautiful. And Dad, one of the reasons for choosing the Virginia Beach area is because it doesn't get cold. Mm-hmm. It might snow
a little
occasionally,
yeah.
But nothing like up in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Yeah, and it's cooler than it is here.
Yeah.
The summers are not as hot.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
Yeah. It won't be as muggy, I don't think.
It's super muggy here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to miss that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything that we can do to help you to feel better about the move or to get acclimated to the idea?
Well, you could always get me a car.
We can get you a car. There's a car. That cheap car.
I don't really have a good feeling about that one though.
Okay.
I don't know. I just don't think it would last very long.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I think that you should have a car.
Yeah.
And I think that the key there being your car with your insurance. It was stressful after this accident that you were in because it was on our insurance and, so I think that's definitely something to look at.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You're going to have a car unless we live close to like a bus station or bus stop. I mean, not a bus station like we're shipping you out, but I mean,
I understand
transportation easily accessible. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Just going up and visiting might help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do that soon then.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long drive.
Yeah.
It's about 13 hours.
Yeah. 16 if you hit traffic.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. This is something that's we didn't expect was going to happen. And I think Dad just put his resume out there thinking, let's
see what happens.
Let's see what happens. And it's, for us, we feel nervous as well. We feel, excited about it. And we also feel, it's always hard. The unknown is what's difficult to deal with. And I know for you that is as well.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do is leave as little unknown for you as possible. So that we told you when this job starts. We told you, we'll tell you when the house goes up for sale. We'll tell you what exactly is happening when.
Okay.
And
thank you.
Sure. And if there's anything else that you need, just to let us know, because it gets stressful for anybody.
Yeah.
But I think our priority is with you, helping you to feel comfortable through the whole process.
Right.
And
that's the whole point of the whole thing, is to make sure that we're all okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
this has been a really eye-opening experience living here.
Yeah.
It's like we learned a lot. Mm-hmm. We made some good friends.
Yeah.
And yet the same thing that you're saying is that about moving forward, that's what it feels like, I think, for all of us, that the move could really help that out.
Yeah.
The podcast started down here.
Yeah, it did.
So that was a huge positive.
Yeah.
And it'll continue.
It will.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. So that's just a focus for us, is to make sure that you're okay. Yeah. So let us know if you start feeling any anxiety. Talk to us about it.
Okay.
So we can help you through that.
Okay, I will.
And we'll go visit up there, and so that the place is not unfamiliar completely to you.
Right.
When we leave here.
Right.
All right. Good deal. If anybody's listening and you've had experience moving, and either you're on the spectrum or a family member's on the spectrum, please let us know if you came up with any ways that helped the entire family, or specifically the one on the spectrum, to feel more comfortable and for it to not be as disruptive. I know that when we moved here, Josh, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the move was as difficult for you as it was that other things happened in your life at that time.
Right.
And so it just coincided with other things that were very depressing. And what we're talking about, so that people know, is that you ended a long-term relationship that you had with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very...
traumatic.
Yes. And it happened right after we moved here. So...
Right before.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know that the move itself was the cause of, you being unable to function for a while.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to make sure that you're okay.
Yeah. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, sure. So, you let me know what you need. Deal?
Okay.
All right. And I think that's it for today.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us again. We always appreciate that.
Yeah.
We hope you're doing well, and I look forward to hearing from you and more of you, and we really, really like that. Yeah, it means a lot.
It really does.
Yeah. So, hope you have a great day. Love you.
Bye. Oh, wait. Give us a 5-star rating.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yes, if you like what we're doing, give us a 5-star rating, please, and go to our website. It's sonyaking.com. It's SONYAKING.com. You can find this. You can find the blog. Every week we have a podcast. I write a blog to go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some other stuff on the site you can check out. So anyway, thanks for reminding me, Josh.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So yeah, we'll talk next week. Love ya.
Bye. For real this time.